And the Q&A segment, we're going to discuss the resurgence of the Brewpub. This came out of Maine specifically. We're going to discuss why and why now. And the article came from down east, again out of Maine. And we're going to break it in some Q&As.
Little Q&A.
Let's get it started here, Lizzie. What is the current trend in Maine's craft breweries?
So glad you asked, Chelsea. So craft breweries in Maine have been increasingly incorporating their own kitchens, hence reviving the brewpub model that was super popular in the 90s. So this shift is observed across multiple breweries throughout the state. So what led to the original popularity of brewpubs in Maine?
All right. So Maine's first brew pub, Gritty McDuff's, opened in Portland, Maine. Don't confuse yourself there. In 1988, followed by others like Federal Jacks and Sea Dogs in the 90s. Initially, Maine's law maintained that serving drinks also required a kitchen, which is pretty common in a lot of different states, prompting breweries to combine the restaurant service with the beer production. So why did brew pubs fall out of style in the first place?
The brewpubs fell out of popularity from legislative changes. In 2009, Maine allowed breweries to sell growlers directly to customers. And in 2012, individual pours in tap rooms were permitted. These changes made it feasible for breweries to focus solely on beer production and on-site sales without the need of a kitchen. What's led to the recent revival then of the brewpub model, specifically in Maine?
Yeah, I'm going to contribute this to our Brews and Bites segment.
Right.
Yeah, like the brewpubs, they want to control the food. Like, and it's extra work, but we've all been at breweries and either the food truck doesn't show up or they broke down or they kind of suck. Or whatever reason, right? There's a million things. It's really hard to combine two businesses and get them to be seamless together. That's just like a fact. That's just hard to do. Have you ever tried to organize people to like go to an event together? It's exhausting. Like,
that's a really good point.
Herding cats, right? And it's a lot of work. And so a lot of the breweries now are just going to start, having their own food, and there's a increase of demand. Like, you want your food, you want it to pair with you want your food to pair well with your beers. Sure. You want to have more control over the entire experience that people are there for, and there's demand for people, right? The guests want it, and so
it's really about controlling that customer experience, and you are the conductor of your production, right? You can't blame it on somebody else or point any fingers. You are the maker of your craft.
I like the like combined like permanent food truck type of model. Because I like personally, like, if I were to start up a brewery, I don't have the passion to run a kitchen, but I would want somebody that does. And so I like, we've talked forever, you would be the one doing it. But like the food hall type of model, right? So that's kind of what having a permanent food truck there is. You get someone and like they get to run it and own it, and like you do profit shares or whatever with it. Like I do like that model, and I think we're going to see kind of a mashup of that because there's going to be something in there where you can have it and you don't necessarily have to get rid of your brewery license. And it just is going to come into like the state rules of how long like that location can be set up. But it's like a dumb rule because a lot of times you can just like move the truck around the block like once a week, and that's fine then.
You know who does this really well? You talked about the Avanti model, right? You rent out spaces within a building. Bristol Brewing.
Oh yeah.
In Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What the fuck is that called? The lab. I just had it. The Scottish Ale.
The Laughing Lab.
Laughing Lab. Oh my. One, kudos, and a lot of people have given them kudos because it's an incredible product and beer. But
it's won a lot of awards.
Exactly, right? Like the people have spoken. Bristol Brewing is set up in an old elementary school.
Yeah.
In an older type of neighborhood in the Springs. It's Southern Springs. And it has that type of model. They do have a permanent food truck set up outside is like a barbecue type thing.
Yep.
But on the inside, there's a gift shop, there's a coffee shop, there's like a full service cocktail bar,
Oh, yeah.
other foods, and then they have a beautiful tap room as well that showcases them as a brewing. Obviously, would 100% support seeing more of that. Like, kudos to Bristol Brewing. Would love to go as much as possible.
Yeah, it
gives
follows...
you options. How do you think then how has the customer expectations influenced this trend?
Yeah, I think in general the customers want food, right? It's
you want to get too lit up.
Yeah, one, it's more family friendly.
Yep.
And like I know there's a lot of places that aren't like necessarily like woohoo, like kids there, but there's a lot of really well behaved kids. Obviously some people ruin it, but like it is what it is. But guess what? People are also want to spend money. They want to get out of the house, and having that more full-fledged experience. I don't think people mind going and like grabbing their food from the food truck. It's just that inconsistency of, are they going to be open? Are they not? Are they going to be there? Are they not? Are they closed? Did they leave early? Did they run out of food? There's just so many variables that, like we talked about the brewery in Boulder that we used to walk to all the time.
Yeah.
And then by like the third, fourth time in a couple months, they closed the kitchen 2 hours early. Mm-hmm. The amount of times we didn't go there, like that was the excuse, would be like, cool, like walk the dogs and grab a beer and grab some food for the night. We just didn't go anymore because it was like, well, a bummer. If we're not gonna be able to get food because we have no idea if the kitchen's open, we'll just go walk the dogs somewhere else and we'll just like make something at home, or we'll order in. We'll do like we just came up with something different. So I think because of the inconsistencies with food trucks, it's just when people are hungry, people are mean.
Hangry.
They're hangry. They don't want to have to deal with not consistent quality, not knowing what's going on. People want the food that they're there
or for. They deal with it one time and one time only.
Yeah. People don't have a lot of patience with food.
Well, not when there's a plethora of options.